The Hollow Whispers. The old house at the edge of Blackthorn Woods had stood empty for decades. Locals called it the Hollow House, named for the eerie hollow sounds that echoed from it on stormy nights. Though many told tales of the place, no one dared step foot inside. That was, until Mia and her friends decided to make it the centerpiece of their Halloween dare. Mia, Ethan, Rachel, and Danny were thrill-seekers by nature. The four of them had spent countless nights exploring the creepy corners of their small town, from the abandoned quarry to the decrepit train station. But the Hollow House, it was in a league of its own. On Halloween night, armed with flashlights, phones, and a bottle of cheap whiskey for courage, the group approached the looming structure. The house was a sprawling, two-story monstrosity, its once white paint peeling and its windows like empty sockets staring into the void. The front door creaked open as if inviting them in, though none of them had touched it. "That's not creepy at all," Danny muttered, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Maybe the wind," Ethan suggested, though the air was unnervingly still. "Let's just get this over with," Mia said, stepping inside first. The others hesitated before following. The interior was as decayed as the exterior, with rotting floorboards, torn wallpaper, and a smell of mildew mixed with something metallic. The air felt heavy, oppressive, as if the house itself were alive and aware of their intrusion. "Okay," Mia said, forcing a grin. "Let's split up, explore the house, and meet back here in 20 minutes. "Split up? Have you never seen a horror movie?" Rachel hissed. "Come on, Rach. What's the worst that could happen?" Mia teased. Reluctantly, they agreed. Mia and Ethan took the upstairs, while Rachel and Danny stayed on the ground floor. As the group separated, the house seemed to exhale, the faint sound of whispers drifting through the air. Dash dash dash. Upstairs. Mia and Ethan found themselves in a long hallway lined with doors. Most of the rooms were empty, save for old furniture and cobwebs. But the whispers grew louder the farther they went, a nonsensical murmur that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. "Do you hear that?" Mia asked. Ethan nodded, his face pale. "It's like voices." They reached the last door, slightly ajar, and pushed it open. Inside was a child's room, untouched by time. A tiny bed with a moth-eaten quilt sat in one corner, and a wooden rocking horse stood near the window. On the walls, faded drawings of stick figures and smiling suns hinted at a happier time. Mia stepped closer to the rocking horse. It began to sway gently. "Okay, nope," Ethan said, backing toward the door. Wait, Mia whispered, pointing to the mirror on the dresser. A message was scrawled in the dust, "Get out." Downstairs, Rachel and Danny wandered into what must have been the living room. A grand fireplace dominated the space, its bricks blackened with soot. Above the mantel hung a portrait of a stern-looking woman in a black dress. Danny shone his flashlight on the painting. "Why does she look like she wants to kill us?" Rachel shrugged, trying to hide her unease. "Probably because we're invading her house." Suddenly, the fireplace roared to life, flames licking at the air. Danny stumbled back, nearly dropping his flashlight. "Did you do that?" Rachel asked, her voice trembling. "No. It just..." Danny stopped mid-sentence, staring at the portrait. Portrait. The woman's eyes were no longer looking straight ahead. They were fixed on him. The reunion. 20 minutes later, the group reconvened in the entryway, visibly shaken. "This place is messed up," Rachel said, glancing nervously over her shoulder. "We found a room upstairs," Mia began, "and there were whispers. And writing on the mirror. Something lit the fireplace while we were in the living room," Danny interrupted. "And the painting, it moved." "Moved?" Ethan echoed. Her eyes, Rachel confirmed. "They followed us." Before anyone could respond, the front door slammed shut with a deafening bang. The sound reverberated through the house, followed by silence so deep it felt tangible. "Okay, let's leave," Mia said, her voice shaking. They rushed to the door, but it wouldn't budge. Ethan yanked on the handle, gritting his teeth. "It's like it's locked from the outside." A cold wind swept through the house, carrying with it the unmistakable sound of children laughing. Laughing, high-pitched, echoing, and wrong. Descent into madness. The group huddled together, their flashlights flickering. The whispers returned, louder now, forming words they couldn't quite understand. "We need to find another way out," Mia said, trying to keep calm. "The kitchen might have a back door." As they moved deeper into the house, the walls seemed to close in, the air growing colder with each step. In the kitchen, they found no exit, only a rusted stove and a table covered in old, moldy food. Then they saw it, a handprint on the window, pressed from the inside. It was small, like a child's, and dripping with a dark, viscous liquid. Danny screamed. They turned to see him staring at the floor. A pool of blood was spreading from beneath the pantry door. "I'm not opening that," he stammered. "You don't have to," a voice whispered. They spun around, flashlights darting wildly. Standing in the doorway was a little girl, no older than 6. Her dress was tattered, her skin pale, and her eyes were black voids. "Get out," she said in a voice that was not her own, before disappearing into thin air. The truth unveiled. Panicked, the group stumbled back into the main hallway. The house seemed to pulse, the walls warping and twisting. Doors opened and slammed shut on their own, and the whispers grew into a deafening cacophony. "Why is this happening?" Rachel cried. Mia's flashlight landed on a newspaper clipping framed on the wall. The headline read, "Family of 4 vanishes in Blackthorn Woods, foul play suspected." Below it was a grainy photograph of the family, a stern-looking man, a smiling woman, a little girl, and an infant. "It's them," Mia whispered. "This is their house. What happened to them?" Ethan asked. Before Mia could answer, the floor beneath them cracked and gave way. They tumbled into darkness, landing in what could only be described as a cellar. The air was damp and foul, and the walls were lined with shelves of jars. Inside the jars were preserved organs, each labeled with a name. "Oh my God," Rachel whimpered. In the center of the room was a crude altar, and atop it lay a decayed body. The little girl stood beside it, her void-like eyes fixed on the group. "They took us," she said, her voice echoing unnaturally. "They hurt us. Now they'll hurt you." The whispers became screams as the room erupted in chaos. The jars shattered, their contents spilling onto the floor. The walls seemed to bleed, and shadowy figures emerged from the darkness, their faces contorted in agony. Escape. The group scrambled to their feet, running blindly through the cellar. They found a staircase and climbed it, emerging in the entryway. The front door was now wide open, the night beckoning beyond. "Go!" Mia shouted. They didn't need to be told twice. They sprinted outside, the house groaning and shaking behind them. As they reached the safety of the woods, the hollow house collapsed in on itself with a deafening roar, leaving nothing but a smoking crater. The group never spoke of that night again. They moved away from Blackthorn Woods, each trying to forget the horrors they had witnessed. But sometimes, late at night, Mia would hear whispers in the darkness. And in the corner of her eye, she'd see a little girl in a tattered dress, watching her with empty, black eyes.